Extract Black Coffee Roasting Co. This is where all the magic happens.
Hey, it's Adrienne. Come on in and join us.
Glad you could join us. Mi casa, su casa.
Our gorgeous roastery is actually only temporary since it adjoins our home. We are in the process of building our new roastery, still on our 20 acres, but giving ourselves just a little bit of space from our work and home life.
And here is our gorgeous 20 kilo roaster. We named her La Loma Lavu. And she is a stunning 1950s vintage restored 20 kilo roaster, originally wood fired. She was made in Bologna, Italy, but she was actually sourced from Czechoslovakia, brought back here into Australia and restored to her former glory. This is where the big magic happens. So for all our wholesale roasts, we push it out of this one. Thanks, David.
You're welcome. Being artisan roasters, it means that we need to individually check every single roast by grabbing samples of the beans as they go through. Unlike the solar, whether it's automatic to a point, this machine here is controlled by airflow through the gas. The bigger the airflow, the hotter it gets. So that artisan, this is probably the machine that requires most of the attention and the hands-on, where as in opposition to the solar, where it's almost automatic. But in saying that, you still need to keep an eye on moisture levels and temperatures when you put different origins through the machine.
So once the green beans hit the shorelines of Australia, they head off to the merchants. They're also then recupped by the merchants and given cupping notes. When we inquire about the organic and fair trade coffee that they've got, we're given samples. Green and roaster samples are sent over to us in only a tiny batch. We then roaster ourselves, but also we taste the ones that they sent over roasted. From here, we do our own very simple cupping. We also make those same beans that we just cupped in a black coffee, long black espresso, and also a latte, because we find most of the customers will tend to drink milk-based coffees. So we look at each profile and there we select what coffees are suitable for milk-based, what are suitable for black that we can recommend that we will be lightly roasting. And from here, this is where we choose our ton of coffee.
This is our 2 kilo roaster, our solar roaster. We do small batch specialty roasting in this one. Today we're doing a Brazil roast. We measure the moisture levels in all our coffee before we roast them, making sure they're between 8 and 11%. This ensures that the maximum quality is produced through the roaster. So that's what we're about to do now. We heat this to about 176 degrees. We then drop it through our hopper here, and that then feeds down into what you can see here. Whoa, it's smoking up. So in here we've got convection and conduction heating. So it's fan forced as well as element driven. So we're getting maximum amount of heat around our bean, so we get the maximum quality produced throughout the process.
Awesome.
And at this stage, the alarm's gone off at 1:55 and I've dropped into the drum. We close it up.
So what are we having in front of us?
Here we have the raw ingredient, the green bean. Then we have the yellowing. Then we have cinnamon. Then we have light. Then we have medium. Then we have dark.
And which roast do we go to?
This little baby here.
So we go to first crack. Thanks. So what are we up to now?
What we're doing here is we've got 2 kilos in the solo, and we're roasting in Brazil for one of our customers. This is at about 120, so it's on the rise at the moment, where it will drop and stop at about 176, where the residual heat will take it on to about 198 degrees.
Beautiful. Thank you.
We've gone past yellowing, now we're up to cinnamon stage.
So So David,
Yes.
why does extract black coffee only go to first crack, or as we also know it as light roast?
We find that only going to light roast or first crack best represents the profiles, and therefore enabling us to have the cup of coffee that doesn't have the bitterness at the end towards the end of the cup of coffee. So that's why we like to only go that far. So as you can see, we've gone from the stages of cinnamon now to the next level, where therefore it's starting to find its way into first crack. If you listen really carefully, you can hear the popping sound, which initiates the first crack stage of development. Let's drop this baby.
Bellissimo! So from here, these beans get packed up and shipped out within 24 hours. Every single order, we roast absolutely fresh. So all our stockists have the freshest possible beans that we possibly can provide them. You'll hear very many varying recommendations when to drink freshly roasted beans. Anywhere up to 4 days to 2 weeks. But hey, when something is so fresh, you've got to have it now. So we're shipping our beans out. We ship them in what we call the rebound buckets. These little babies are food safe. We sanitize them back here at base every single time they get returned. And we ship them on out. We have always stood by our philosophy to be reusable, and when we can't, we're fully compostable. So you'll find that we have these gorgeous bags. We've actually handmade these ourselves out of the green coffee Hessian bags. I've personally hand stamped all of these. So once they used up, so all the bags behind, they can be popped into the compost, or you can put them as a weed mat. And then our compostable versions of these babies. These are 100% compostable. They have a corn flour lining. And again, we actually hand stamp these. That way, they remain 100% compostable. When we inquired about printing, it took the composition of it back to 70%. So extract black, we don't mind going that extra length in order to look after our sensational, beautiful native countryside.